Alright, I'm just gonna hit record already. I've literally been sitting here in my room for the past like 20 minutes trying to think of what video I'm gonna be making for you guys. The more that I try to think about what video I'm gonna make you guys for Christmas, the more stressed out I get. So I don't even know what video I'm making today, but by the thumbnail and the title, you guys are gonna know what I finally decide. The first probably 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe might just be me rambling. So if that's the case, just skip ahead. You'll probably get to me talking about the video eventually. Anyways, it's the day before Christmas. I'm freaking out. Everybody is at a party currently, and I'm over here at home trying to figure out what video to make for you guys, because I just couldn't leave this house knowing that I didn't make a video for you guys for Christmas. Like, you guys are gonna wake up to no present under the tree. That's like having a son and literally having him wake up to nothing, giving him coal. In fact, it's worse than coal. I gave him nothing. I didn't even give him the satisfaction of unwrapping a gift. So I figured I just had to give you guys something. Right now, I'm literally going through everything I could possibly think of. I'm like, what video do I make? What video do I make? But I was originally going to do What If Deku Had the Lord's Eyes, the full movie, but I can't even think of how I even want to start the story, what I want to do. I can't. All right. I don't know what it is. I just can't figure it out. Okay. But because of that, I'm thinking that I'm probably just going to make a Naruto What If, specifically most likely Speedo Sound Sonic. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna record it. However the thumbnail looks, that's how the thumbnail's gonna look. Okay. All right, so Speedo Sound Sonic Naruto. How in the world do I even want to do this? I don't even have a script ready. That's how cooked I am, boys. I'm cooked. Like, I have nothing but like me right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even have an idea in my head. So let's just start this all off where every good Naruto story should start. The night of the Nine-Tails attack. Just like in the original, both of Naruto's parents would both be dead, and Naruto would be found by one lone shinobi, Hiruzen Sarutobi. The moment that would happen, Naruto would be raised by Hiruzen up until Naruto would be about 4 years old. Once Naruto would be old enough to fend for himself in a shinobi world, Naruto would be given his own apartment, where Naruto would be given a monthly allowance which he usually is not able to even use properly, meaning that towards the end of it he usually goes hungry, and this would ultimately lead Naruto to having to hunt at the end of the month for his own food, because whenever he tried to get a hold of Hiruzen, it didn't work. And the more Naruto tried to get the people's attention, the more Naruto realized that he was too slow. So what Naruto would do is he would pretty much end up getting this desire to be faster than anybody, so that people couldn't see him. Because Naruto already had this thing where whenever people looked at him, they literally hated him. Whenever Naruto would run through the village, people would stare at him as he would walk, so he decided he's just gonna go so fast they don't see him. But even then, Naruto could still catch glimpses of their eyes staring back at him. Those judgmental, hate-filled, wish you never were born eyes are always staring at him. And Naruto hated it. As everything in Naruto's life eventually culminated, Naruto would realize that, like, people didn't want him around. He hardly wanted himself to be around. In fact, there would even be times where Naruto wished that he could just commit seppuku. But ultimately, Naruto would have a smile and stay strong. Naruto would try hunting for his food at the end of the months, but these animals always got away from him. Naruto sucked at fishing and couldn't do a thing, and Naruto realized that he was too slow at the academy, he was too slow at building chakra, and at everything that Naruto tried, he was always so slow. Naruto didn't get it. And so Naruto, from the age of being a little kid, about 8 years old, would one day just fall down to his knees, both of his legs practically shivering, having like multiple like sprains and stuff in his feet, because Naruto constantly runs and runs and runs and runs and runs, trying to be fast, trying to show that he can be the fastest shinobi that will ever live. And that's going to be a big thing if he can reach that, because he's going to have to gain even greater speeds than his father, Minato Namikaze. And so Naruto, from the moment that he would turn like 6 or 8 years old, is what I believe I said, would begin training day in and day out. Anytime that Naruto wasn't eating or training, Naruto would have decided that now he's so fast that people won't even notice him stealing stuff from shops. So Naruto, using his speed, would pretty much use it to take little things from shops every day to keep himself nourished, knowing that, well, yeah, he loves ramen, he's not exactly gonna steal from Teuchi, the one person that's never looked at him with hate in his eyes. And so Naruto, as he would train and train, slowly Naruto would begin like kind of showing off signs that he's getting stronger by the second. And while everybody else in the academy would slowly be growing and they're all going at their own pace and they really haven't figured out how hard and difficult the shinobi life is, Naruto unfortunately had to handle circumstances that he was not ready for. But because of the fact that Naruto had to go through all of these things, Naruto would get stronger. And this would be one of your cliche like flashback backstories, where instead of Naruto having a big bad like whole like fleshed out backstory, which I just can't even really think of right now, I'm just gonna be giving you guys kind of like a runaround. This is how Naruto attains insane levels of speed, and by the time that we would get to the day where all of the teams are picked, Naruto would be easily the fastest person in the classroom. Naruto's speed would have eventually allowed him to take Sasuke out, who can't even seemingly react to his movements, with Sasuke just thinking, if only I had the Sharingan, maybe I could, but I don't. And he would realize, like, what if this, if that. He realized instead of playing what if, he should just work with what he has. So up to this point, Naruto's the top dog in the classroom, and Sasuke, well, he was just gonna have to accept that. As years would pass, Naruto would realize one thing. His speed is one thing, but he needs something else. He needs something better. To this point, Naruto pretty much only relies on shuriken, kunai, and his speed to fight. Naruto is lacking in everything but pretty much taijutsu ability. And Naruto in this timeline would literally have not a single jutsu under his belt. Yeah, that multi-shadow clone jutsu that he gets in the original, forget about it. Because in this timeline, Naruto isn't going to not pass the academy. Naruto's more than talented enough, so they just couldn't hold him back. And even though he couldn't form a shadow clone, he still was allowed to pass due to the fact that he is the strongest Genin that they have seen in a while. Naruto has a prodigious nature about him, and it's not so much that he's some crazy prodigy that just picks everything up instantly. Naruto would have worked hard day in and day out when no one was looking, and Naruto would be an example of hard work beats talent. And so, eventually, the teams would be picked, and Naruto would be placed onto Team 7, where Naruto would be put alongside Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke. Eventually, the introductions would take place, and Naruto, as soon as he would be asked what his goal is, what his dreams are, Naruto would say that his dream is to be the fastest shinobi that has ever lived. Kakashi, hearing this, would think to himself that that is a monumental task, considering the fact that the fastest shinobi to this point was probably his father, Minato Namikaze. And so, Kakashi would think that maybe, if one person could do it, maybe it's Naruto. After all, he has heard a lot of things about Naruto's speed and incredible abilities on the battlefield. And so, what would happen is that Naruto would have a huge smile on his face, thinking that one day he was going to achieve his goal. Eventually, Sasuke would go on to explain that his goal was to kill a certain someone. And we would finally turn to Sakura, who would be like, I guess my goal, well, if I had to say, the person that I want to, she would just sit there stuttering, and Kakashi would be like, well, now that introductions are over, why don't you all meet me at the forest, where you guys are going to be taking an exam to see if you can truly become Genin. After hearing this, Sasuke and Sakura both would say, what? But aren't we already Genin? And Kakashi would say, not quite. Oh, and don't eat anything, or you'll regret it. As from here, Kakashi would use the body flicker to teleport out of there, seemingly, as Naruto, seeing Kakashi utilize the body flicker, would do the exact same thing, displaying levels of speed that Sasuke would grit his teeth at, thinking, show off. As from here, he would go off in his own direction, and the very next day, the entire team would meet up at where Kakashi pretty much told them to meet at, right? My bad, guys. Like I said, I'm still a little sick, so like sometimes the little like mucuses and stuff like that are all built up because, like, you know, I'm kind of sick, are just getting me. So I'm gonna drink some water real quick, and I promise I'll be right back. Okay, that's much better. All right, let me there, sorry about that. I know it kind of sucks hearing that, but anyways, picking up right where I had pretty much left off, Naruto, after all of this stuff would take place, would finally end up finding himself face to face with Kakashi, who would quickly go on to explain the rules of the bell test. After hearing all of this, Naruto would go on to pretty much nod before swearing and vowing to himself that he would be taking a bell. And so, the second that the test would start, Naruto would blitz at the direction of Kakashi so fast that had Kakashi not been such an experienced ninja, and like pretty much always been prepared for like someone to attack him and not having his guard down, Naruto would barely miss the bell by like a millimeter. His kunai nearly cut it off, and Kakashi in this moment would have had to substitute out of there before Naruto could fully take it from him. Naruto from here would skid on the ground before turning back towards Kakashi, who would be absolutely stunned by his speed, thinking to himself that he knew he was fast, but this is incredible. And so Naruto would blitz back towards him once again, throwing 3 shuriken in 3 directions, making sure that Kakashi pretty much only had 2 ways to go. But instantly, Kakashi would catch a shuriken within his finger and he would stare at Naruto, who would pretty much appear behind him, leaving an after image, being so quick that it would shock Kakashi, being like, what the? As from here, Naruto would go on to use his kunai to try to slash at the bell once more, trying to take it from him, but Kakashi moving out of the way would pretty much counter with his kunai, as Naruto would slash at Kakashi and actually end up cutting Kakashi in his forearm, which causes a little bit of blood to start going down his arm. Kakashi would jump back, doing a couple of flips as he would stare back at Naruto, who would say, come on, take me seriously already, or the next time I attack you, it'll be your head. Trust me, I know that I'll get away with it, because after all, you said that we could come at you with intent to kill, right? So come at me with the same intent, so I can show you just how fast I am. As instantly, Naruto would rush towards the direction of Kakashi. Might I add, that was a bit cringe, my bad, y'all. But anyways, Naruto would rush towards the direction of Kakashi, as Kakashi in this moment would proceed to unveil his Sharingan. And the second that that would happen, this entire battle would change. Naruto blitzing towards Kakashi would realize Kakashi's keeping up with his movements, and Naruto would be stunned, being like, what? How in the... As Kakashi would go on to maneuver past him, and they would begin getting into a quick taijutsu clash, where Naruto using his kunai would begin to seemingly keep up perfectly with Kakashi. But now that Kakashi is able to actually see Naruto move and has all of his experience, which I've already mentioned before, this would pretty much be a bit of a walk in the park for Kakashi. Yes, Naruto's fast, but Kakashi, he's just that much faster. And so, eventually Naruto would begin being pushed back, as Sasuke, watching this and realizing that now is his opportunity, he would jump in, performing a fireball jutsu. As Naruto watching this would be shocked that there was a ninja who was actually keeping up with him. Naruto would seemingly thought that he was already the fastest in Konoha, but he guesses he was wrong. He must have just gotten ahead of himself. Naruto would begin shaking his head, thinking, but if I'm not the fastest, then what have I been doing this whole time? Naruto would begin to get in his own head, thinking to himself that this can't be. He's supposed to be the best. He's supposed to be the quickest. But right now, someone before him is making fool's work out of him. And Naruto would just see as Kakashi would pretty much quickly mollywop Sasuke, who would be yelling out, how do you have that eye? He would say, answer me, Kakashi. And suddenly, you would have Kakashi restrain Sasuke, putting him down before then holding his arm in a position where he could seemingly snap it in an instant. But as this would happen, Kakashi would lean down towards Sasuke, whispering something in his ear, as he would let Sasuke go, who would attack at him furiously with the intent to kill. Kakashi wanted to see how Kakashi would react if he was in a seemingly bloodlusted state, and it would not bode well for Sasuke. Sasuke would instantly get captured after this would take place, and Naruto, seemingly willing to finally resolve himself, would rush back in towards Kakashi, thinking that if Kakashi could keep up with his previous levels of speed, well then, he'll just have to take it up a notch. As Kakashi would go even faster than before, being on an evil playing field with Kakashi, but unfortunately for him, Kakashi's experience and Kakashi's strength would completely outdo Naruto, causing Naruto to be taken down, as Naruto would fall hard onto the ground, and Kakashi would tell him that the test is over. At this moment, Naruto would get up going, it's not over! I could get a bell! I really could! But in this moment, Kakashi would say, yeah, well you didn't. As from here, Sasuke would be the one that would be tied up to a post alongside Naruto, and Naruto in this moment would just go on to be in his head, just thinking how in the world he could have kept up with him. Naruto knows that Kakashi's a Jonin, but Naruto was almost entirely positive that he had reached levels of speed that not even a Jonin could even follow, but he was wrong. And Naruto realizes that he had gotten so cocky, all this time being the strongest in the classroom, all this time being able to blitz past even somebody like Iruka sensei and Mizuki sensei and even other Jonin that Naruto was aware, and Anbu members that couldn't even track him stealing things from shops. Naruto thought that maybe he had finally reached his goal, but it seems like he didn't. And so Naruto would just kind of be sitting there with his eyes closed, thinking to himself that there has to be a way to get faster. There just has to be, right? But unfortunately for Naruto, he's not going to be able to do that right now. So what would happen is Sakura would go on to feed Sasuke, and Sasuke would end up finally hearing Naruto's stomach growl. After hearing that, Sasuke turning towards Sakura would say, "Hey, you have to feed Naruto. If all three of us are not at our full capacity, we're not going to be able to take the bells. Besides, the clown is a bit stronger than me, so feed him too." As from here, Naruto would actually be fed, and right after this would take place, Kakashi would make his presence known, telling the team that they pass. As everybody staring at this would be like, what do you mean we passed? We didn't get the bells. And from this moment, Kakashi would reveal the true intentions of the bell test, going on to explain that the purpose of this wasn't actually to get the bells, but to show how well they could work as a team. As after all, for these missions, it is going to be a 3-man team, not a 1-man team. So we needed to be sure that they could work together as a team, or else they were going to be sent back to the academy. But that little thing showed them a glimpse at the fact that maybe they can work together. And so Team 7 would officially be formed, leading to the next couple of weeks being used by Naruto to train, getting even stronger. Naruto from this moment would begin using weighted clothing, having requested Hiruzen some sort of training method to get faster. Hiruzen would have pretty much left them at a loss for words, as Naruto would say, "Please, anything," as Hiruzen would pretty much just tell him that the only way that he can probably get stronger is by maybe adding resistance to his already intense training. And Naruto, thinking about that, would finally realize, wait, resistance? You're right. I hadn't thought about that. Naruto in this moment would go home, where Naruto would start to pretty much start using something that Naruto had picked up during all the years that he was by himself. Naruto in this moment would begin to take a shirt and add a little mini pocket at the front of it, sewing a little space where Naruto could put seemingly something heavy inside of it. Naruto from this moment would go on to ask Hiruzen if there's any way that he can get him something to train, a weighted vest or something, so Naruto could feel some actual resistance, seeing as the shirt that he made actually ended up working very well for a first try. Hiruzen, seeing Naruto's makeshift weighted vest, would smile, as from here, Hiruzen would go on to give him a jacket looking much like a Jonin jacket, but without the symbols and without all the credentials, which Naruto could actually put very, very heavy weights. We know that in the Naruto world, like they can do crazy things, so doing something like creating something that's like 100 pounds but it's like really small, I don't think that should be the most impossible thing in the world. So Naruto would begin doing weighted training for the following 1.5 weeks, as after all of this training would finally be over, Naruto would train himself to the brink, to the point where Naruto's legs were practically steel at this point. That's how hard they were from all this training. The bones had been broken multiple times from Naruto pushing himself, so Naruto had pretty much been doing Iron Fist training on his legs for all these years. Naruto, safe to say, was a monster. In just a week and a half, Naruto would improve leaps and bounds more than he had in all of those years of training that Naruto had used. Not combined in the sense that Naruto grew as much as he did in all those years, but in the sense that Naruto's 1 week and a half training, that's the word I'm looking for, pretty much yielded more results than all that time, because Naruto now had all the learning stuff that he would have used from all those years before, and now Naruto would have finally gotten even faster. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, there's still one thing missing from Naruto's arsenal, and that's a blade. But don't worry, that's about to be fixed right now, beginning with the Land of the Waves arc. But before I start talking about that, I quickly have to say Merry Christmas, guys. On the day that this is dropping, obviously it's going to be Christmas, so I just really quickly wanted to wish you guys that. I know at the beginning of the video I probably wasn't the usual me, but that's because I was literally freaking out about what video I was going to be dropping to you guys. But now that I'm 20 minutes into the story, probably-ish, I can say with certainty that I'm actually really enjoying the story that I'm crafting up right now, and I hope you guys are as well. Let me know how you guys might have taken this story, and let me know some other what if suggestions that you have down below in the comments. But today, don't just comment the idea, comment how you would actually like the story to go. How would Deku or Naruto be a hero? Would he be a villain? Who would he be shipped with? How would he get the power? Who would be the villains? How would the story play out? I would love to read your guys' what if ideas, because I genuinely think that the best ideas come from people who are fresh and have never done this before. I mean, let's be honest. My ideas are cool now, but they don't compare at all to the kind of stuff I was making when I first started, when I had a burning passion for making these videos, and when I was just an empty canvas. Now, my formula is kind of set, so sometimes these videos can be a bit repetitive, but I know you guys can definitely cook up something special in the comments, so drop your ideas down below and I'll promise to make a couple if they're good. Anyways though, with that being said, let's get back into the story. Immediately after Naruto's final mission that he would take after, catching a cat and something like that, Naruto would finally find himself back in the Hokage's office, where the Hokage would actually task them with taking the bridge builder Tazuna back to his village. As it would be in this moment that a drunken Tazuna would enter the room, revealing himself to be quite the character. As after this would happen and all of their introductions would be set, the team would end up meeting Tazuna back at the bridge the very next day, where the second that they do so, they would end up finally embarking on their mission, where they would quickly be ambushed by the Demon Brothers. But before they can even fake kill Itachi, or did I just say Itachi? Kakashi. Their names kind of sound a little bit similar. But before they can seemingly kill Kakashi like they do in the original timeline, Naruto would blitz in the middle of both of them, throwing a shuriken straight at the chain that's holding both of them together, clipping them onto the tree, as Naruto instantly would proceed to cut both of them right in their chest, leaving a symbol that would actually symbolize something for Naruto, leaving like his trademark little like cut mark, This would pretty much lead both of the Demon Brothers to quickly being trapped, as Naruto would pretty much blitz right in front of the team, and Kakashi, seeing Naruto's levels of speed, would be like, "What? Naruto, when did you?" But it'd be in this moment that Naruto would seemingly put his kunai back in his kunai pouch, and Kakashi would go on to question both of the Demon Brothers, finding out that they're there for Tazuna, and that this wasn't just a Genin mission. After this would take place, much like in the original, Tazuna goes on to pretty much beg the team to continue with the mission, and they would do so, eventually bumping into Tazuna, or might I say Zabuza, who would end up pretty much threatening them with either handing over the bridge builder or dying. And obviously, like they do in the original, Kakashi would end up facing off against Zabuza as they get into a heated battle, when finally everything would all the cards would be down and Kakashi would be captured. Naruto, seeing all of this play out, would blitz towards the direction of Zabuza, not making a plan with Sasuke like he does in the original, and not even having the ability to run on water consistently yet. Naruto would run so fast that his first step on the water would actually cause Naruto to actually leap off of it, as Naruto, blitzing towards the direction of Zabuza with two kunais in his hand, would slash at Zabuza, which would actually lead Zabuza to almost losing his hand, if not for the fact that he took it off. As from here, Kakashi would finally be free, and Kakashi would go on to handle Zabuza. As watching this entire fight go down, Naruto would finally realize the piece of the puzzle he had always been missing, and that was a sword. As Naruto watches the final seconds of the battle, Zabuza would be taken down by his own attack seemingly, as Zabuza would then have two Senbon needles rushing at his neck, which would completely incapacitate him and make it seem like he died. After this would happen, some tracking ninja would arrive, taking Zabuza's body away, as the team would end up having to take Kakashi back to Tazuna's house, where Naruto would think to himself that if he would have faced off against Zabuza, he probably would have found himself on the back foot, because to this point, Naruto doesn't have the experience required to face off against somebody like Zabuza. I mean, yeah, he's faster than Zabuza, no one's gonna deny that, but the problem comes in the fact that Naruto can't see Zabuza in the smoke. He can't see him in the mist, and Zabuza was so much stronger that if Naruto miscalculated, with Zabuza's incredibly large sword, Naruto would have probably been cut in half had he faced him off right then and there. And so, Naruto realized he's gonna have to learn how to face off against opponents when he can't even see them, when Naruto is pretty much lacking in physical strength. And so the second that Kakashi would wake up and he would teach them all tree walking, Naruto would go on to pick this up seemingly along the same time that he would have in the original, by continuing to train on his speed before Kakashi woke up. But After all this would be over, Naruto would ask Kakashi, "Hey Kakashi sensei, how do I go about fighting somebody who is hiding in the shadows? I mean, if I don't have a Sharingan, that is." Kakashi from this moment would just pretty much sit down next to Naruto as he would go on to tell him that he has to use all the senses for that. And even then the battle's going to be difficult. But he would go on to tell Naruto that he has to pretty much think about it the way that other opponents have to face him. Whenever Naruto can outspeed them, they don't know where Naruto's coming from. But that's where experience comes into play in a battle. If they're able to guess where Naruto's coming in and attacking from next, Naruto's speed might not matter, and that kind of decisive blow could genuinely impact whether Naruto makes it out alive or he doesn't. And so, Naruto, getting these wise words of wisdom from Kakashi, realizes this, and taking note of this would think to himself that that's why Kakashi's as elite of a ninja as he is. As Naruto making his way back towards the forest, Naruto would begin practicing new moves, new ways of getting faster. As Naruto would ask Kakashi if there's any way that if there's any place that he knows where he can get a blade, since Naruto would like to start learning how to use one as soon as possible. And Kakashi, actually turning towards the direction of Naruto, would go on to say that he actually does know where he could get one. As from here, Kakashi would place his hand on the ground before using the summoning jutsu. At this moment, a scroll would open where Kakashi would actually go on to grab a blade and hand it to Naruto. Kakashi would go on to say that he used it during his time at the Anbu, but now he doesn't really use the sword anymore, and he would go on to even tell Naruto that if he wants, he can maybe even teach him the basics. It'd be in this moment that Naruto would turn towards Kakashi, give a smirk/smile, and would tell him when they ask when we begin. As from here, Kakashi would go on to smile, with his eye, seeing as, you can't really see his face or his other eye. As it'd be in this moment that Sasuke, watching all of this, would be like, "Dang Naruto, getting special treatment. You're already the strongest. Why doesn't he focus on the rest of us?" As from here, Naruto would go on to train with Kakashi for a couple more days, and finally we would find ourselves on the day of the bridge builder mission. But unfortunately, because Naruto this time around doesn't train as hard as he would in the original, in the sense that he's literally passing out outside, this would mean that he never runs into Haku, but most importantly, this means that Naruto never even oversleeps, which means that Gato's men, which were originally sent to take hold of Inari and Tsunami, would actually end up succeeding in their mission. And so midway during the battle that's about to take place, they're going to be able to use them as bargaining chips for this fight. And so now we have to get into that stuff. So what pretty much ends up happening after this point in time would be the battle at the Tenshi Bridge, but no, the Great Naruto Bridge. The second that Zabuza and his partner Haku would end up arriving, Naruto, not being aware of who his partner is, would ease into the battle, blitzing in towards the direction of Haku, who would be stunned that Naruto could easily keep up with Haku. In fact, he can even outpace him. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but Haku in the original story was known for his crazy speed. That was the thing that basically separated Haku from everybody else. This was his big thing that he had, his trump card. He was just so fast. But in this timeline, Haku's getting completely outdone by a Genin, using the basics that he knows from using this sword. And Naruto would use this really cool reverse grip style when he's holding his blade. So as the battle would progress, Haku would eventually be left with no other choice but to use his demonic ice crystal mirror jutsu. He would end up successfully using it, trapping Naruto within it, but Naruto, using all of his senses and closing his eyes, realizing that right now, Haku was using the same exact speed that Naruto was using, if not even greater because of where he's actually inside. Naruto would have to focus in order to dodge all of these attacks, and Naruto in this moment would step his speed up a notch even further. As Sasuke, watching all of this from beside Tazuna, who he was currently protecting, would just grit his teeth, thinking, "How far will you go, Naruto?" As Naruto would dodge over and over and over and over again, and Haku in this moment would be left with no other choice but to not grant Naruto some quick death, but to instantly kill him. Haku in this moment would jump out of one of the mirrors straight towards the direction of Naruto, as he would take an ice blade that he would create and go to cut Naruto's head clean off his body, being sorrowful that he has to do this, but ultimately he has to obey his master. Finishing the mission takes precedence over this kid's life, which he's never met, and so even though Haku doesn't want to, he rushes Naruto. But right as he slashes through the head, Naruto would have questioned one thing: why he felt no resistance. But it'd be in this moment that Haku would feel his head from his body fall straight to the ground, as Naruto would have easily decapitated Haku, taking his speed to the next level, having left an after image that was there not just for a split second, but was there for such a long time that Haku genuinely thought Naruto couldn't react to him anymore. And so, Naruto, using this insane ability, would have quickly taken the upper hand on the battle and defeated Haku. But after this would happen, Kakashi would stab a Chidori straight into the chest of Zabuza. As the moment that this would take place, Gato and his men would finally end up arriving. And so, he would go on to begin clapping it up, telling them that if he wants something done right, he guesses he has to do it himself, saying that Zabuza and that no good brat were not even worth their pay anyways. He wasn't gonna give them their money. All of his men would start laughing, and it'd be in this moment that Naruto, turning towards Gato, would say, "What? You came here to get killed along with your entire posse?" As from here, Gato would smile and say, No. You're gonna cooperate and do exactly what I say. Hand over the bridge builder and all those helping him, and never finish building this bridge. If you do, then I'll spare those two. As from here, Inari and his mother would be shown from the crowd. As Naruto seeing this would be like, "You coward, you're gonna use bribes in order to win this fight?" Naruto in this moment would start acting scared, but suddenly Naruto would laugh as he would speed blitz behind Gato, showing levels of speed that they had not even been expecting, as Naruto, holding his blade to Gato's throat, would say, "Let them go or he dies." As Gato, hearing this, would say, "Wait, kid, I'll give you anything," as he would then turn towards his men and say, "Let them go. I promise we'll leave. Kid, if you just let me go right now, we'll never come back. In fact, I'll give you so much money, you wouldn't even be able to know what to do with it. Please, just don't kill me, kid." As it'd be in this moment that Naruto would say, "Money? You think I want money?" No. He would pretty much end up have Inari and Tsunami let go, as instantly Naruto would go on to decapitate Gato, and all of Gato's men would blitz towards the direction of Naruto. But Naruto in this moment would have his eyes shift into the likes of Kurama's Nine Tails, because Naruto at this point, being bloodlusted and feeling like this much of a rush of the battle, his adrenaline is going crazy, Naruto would have the Nine Tails influence begin coming over him. And it's not like Naruto even has the chakra emanating. His eyes just shift to like a slightly pupil, his teeth start getting sharp, his whiskers go out. Like the energy of the Nine Tails is not going that crazy. It's more so the influence, right? Like, it doesn't have even a cloak, he has like little tiny embers. But that would be more than enough for Naruto to ransack all of Gato's men. In the flash of an eye, all of those guys would fall down to the ground as blood would begin pouring all over the bridge, and Naruto would blitz straight towards Kakashi as he would tell him that he did it. In this moment, Kakashi would see Naruto and would see a younger version of himself that was covered in darkness. Naruto, from here, his eyes, he would pretty much fall down onto one knee as his body was actually exhausted from using that much speed. Naruto just tapped into that level of speed, and now he was like spamming it over and over. In fact, he probably wouldn't have been able to do all of that had it not been for Kurama's influence. But now, Naruto would be taken on Kakashi's shoulder, as Kakashi would tell him that while that was impressive, he wonders how this will affect Naruto. Sure, killing is something that has to happen in the shinobi world, but Naruto seemingly became desensitized to it after his first kill, and this would worry Kakashi. Could he lose him to the dark side? But what Kakashi should have been thinking about was his other student, who at this point hadn't even unlocked his Sharingan due to never facing Haku, and so the one who was actually falling to the darkness was not Naruto, but Sasuke Uchiha. After this, they would return back to the village, where once there, they would quickly report to Hiruzen about everything that went down in the mission, with Kakashi expressing his worry about Naruto, and Sasuke returning back to train harder than ever before. Sasuke would beat on a tree in rage at the fact that Naruto was so much superior to him. Now, Sasuke just wanted to beat him. Sasuke's judgment was getting so clouded by the fact that he just was so tired of always being weaker than Naruto. He doesn't even remember when it happened, but one day Naruto just started being leaps and bounds ahead of him. Naruto's getting faster and faster, and it's only seemingly making Sasuke madder and madder. And so team chemistry would pretty much start getting worse and worse as time would start passing. Sasuke would start getting angrier and angrier, and meanwhile Naruto would just get cockier and cockier, believing himself to being on pace to becoming one of the fastest ninjas in all of history. And he was actually kind of right. Eventually though, the Chunin exams would finally come around, and the team would obviously still end up agreeing to participating. During this event, Rock Lee would still end up challenging Sasuke because in this timeline, he still remains the Rookie of the Year due to the fact that not only is he extremely skilled in shinobi activities, but he's also really smart when it comes to the academy. So because Naruto was lacking in that behind Sasuke, Naruto ultimately was snubbed of the Rookie of the Year award. And so, Sasuke, thinking himself better than Naruto in this little moment because he was challenging him instead of Naruto, would quickly face off against Lee only to get absolutely humbled. Sasuke, without the Sharingan in this time around, he would get smacked even worse than he would in the original. And if you guys remember the way that Rock Lee did this, man, that's not good. Sasuke's ego was now at an all-time low, and the second that they would get into the examination area of the test, Sasuke would be in his own head, angry at the fact that he lost to some bushy-browed loser, as this would inevitably end up leaking into the next event of the Chunin exams, the forest section. Once this would begin, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would be in search of a heaven scroll, but they wouldn't be able to find one, and the first two teams that they would run into would have an earth scroll. And so Naruto, using his speed, would actually leave the team as he would decide that they're just holding him back. And so Naruto, rushing to find somebody with an earth scroll, or a heaven scroll, sorry, or whichever one, really, it doesn't really matter. Naruto would end up finally finding a team, but it would have been quite a distance away from his team. And during that entire time, Sasuke would have ended up getting bit by the curse mark of Orochimaru. But in this specific timeline, once Orochimaru would pretty much see Sasuke and see that there's clearly evil in his heart, there's a desire for power, Orochimaru would whisper in his ear, "I know that look in your eyes, Sasuke. If you search for power, then seek me out. I'll leave you with this little gift." As from here, he would bite down onto Sasuke's neck, who would have shown no resistance, as he would fall down onto the ground in pain, and Sakura would begin to tend to Sasuke's wound. Naruto would finally end up arriving back to the team, seeing everything that went down, and would ask, "What happened?" As Sakura goes on to explain that while he was gone, they were attacked by some freak with white skin. She's not sure what happened, but he said something to Sasuke and then bit him in the neck, and now he's like this. Naruto, after hearing this, would go on to pretty much tell Sakura that everything will be okay, as he throws Sasuke over his shoulder and says that they're just gonna have to make their way back towards the Chunin Tower, saying that he finally has the scroll. And so Naruto, with Sasuke on top of him, would end up rushing towards the direction of the Chunin Tower. Now, in the original, they don't do this, and they end up making their way to the cave because Sakura was the only member. But because of only Sasuke being the only one hurt, I can genuinely see this playing out, with Naruto's speed allowing them to make their way towards the tower, where Sasuke would get tended to, where he would wake up and still freak out like he would in the original. But because there's going to be a bunch of Jonin around, I don't think that the reaction's going to be as crazy. I can see something different happening, actually, where instead of Sasuke freaking out and us having like his moment against the sound ninja, he would just smirk, realizing that he feels more powerful. As the Chunin exams would go on, Sasuke would end up facing his opponent that he would in the original, taking him down as quickly as he does in canon, with Naruto facing off against Kiba, making light work of him, immediately blitzing at Kiba and knocking him down by pretty much slicing him in his chest and causing Kiba to fall down onto the ground, blood leaking from him. As Naruto, holding his blade in his hand, would say, "You better go to the hospital," as Akamaru would be barking at his leg, and Naruto would just kick Akamaru away, saying, "Get off of me, you mutt." From here, we would pretty much end up having the rest of the battles take place, and because Naruto in this timeline doesn't really care about Hinata and his ways are different, Naruto seeing Hinata get absolutely destroyed would not actually feel any type of way at this, as we would then get the 1 month of training take place, where Kakashi, seeing that Sasuke clearly is in search of more power and is going to the dark side, would seemingly focus on him way more than Naruto, which leads to Naruto not really caring, training all by himself, until finally, Naruto would be approached by the legendary Sage Age of the Toads, as Jiraiya would finally end up making his introduction to the series, and we would then get a couple of weeks of Naruto training alongside Jiraiya, focusing on mainly learning how to control the power of the Nine Tails. And Naruto was all for this, because not only was he doing that, but whenever he was on his own time, Naruto was still using his weighted clothing, and now Naruto finally learned how to walk on water, which was something that Naruto desperately needed to learn. Using this, Naruto would grow even faster, and Naruto's excited because he remembered the power he displayed on the bridge. That power was like a drug to him, and Naruto desired nothing less but to feel that exhilarating feeling once more. And so, Naruto and Neji would face off against each other in the arena, where the second that the bell would finally ring, Naruto, blitzing towards the direction of Neji with both of his pupils being slitted would rush at him and instantly slash at him, causing Neji to be stunned because his Byakugan couldn't even keep up with Naruto's movement. In this moment, Neji would fall down onto the ground, and I believe that with this one attack, Neji would be out for the count, because in the original, he was taken down by a mere uppercut, so this time, it would be even easier than it was in the original. Which leads us to the next battle, Sasuke versus Gaara, which plays out just like it does in the original timeline, because this time, Sasuke still would have ended up unlocking the Sharingan during his 1 month of training with Kakashi. This would lead Sasuke to getting levels of strength that would cause Sasuke to finally stop feeling so much hatred. All of that evil and desire to get so strong would slowly start going away, but it's definitely still there. It's not like he just became completely docile, but those tendencies and that desire was seemingly just kind of tame for the moment. But the moment that Sasuke's battle against Gaara would end up pretty much making its way towards the forest, where Sasuke would have to use the Chidori and the Sharingan in tandem with all that, he would finally realize that he was not as strong as he thought. Gaara was piecing him up, and when Sasuke least expected it, who other than Naruto would end up coming in the way and saving him at the last possible second. This would cause all of those emotions that Sasuke had just managed to get over to finally come back to the surface, as Sasuke would realize that he wasn't going to be getting as strong as he needed to in this village. He was going to be needing to go in search of Orochimaru. So Sasuke, unlike the original, would already pretty much make his mind up at this point, but the time for him to leave with Orochimaru would still not be here yet. And while all this would be taking place on the other side of on another side of the planet, pretty much, because now Naruto wasn't in the village, but he was with Jiraiya, he would pretty much be training with him, learning a technique known as the Rasengan, where Naruto would end up working with Jiraiya to learn more and more about the things that he can do. Naruto getting even faster, learning jutsus that Jiraiya would actually teach him to help him out in these battles, would grow a lot more powerful and seemingly just continue getting stronger and stronger, but more specifically, faster and faster. I don't know if you guys have seen One Punch Man, but I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably have. Every time that Speedo Sound Sonic left to go train, he would learn something else. And by this point, I'd like to say Naruto was at that level when he fought off against Genos. Y'all remember when that one girl, Tornado or something like that? No, not Tornado, but her sister came to pretty much recruit Saitama, and Speedo Sound Sonic was able to create multiple little clones after images and stuff like that. That's about the level of speed that Naruto's at. So he's definitely extremely impressive at this point. And so, with him training with Jiraiya, they would eventually end up being encountered by Itachi and Kisame, who, unlike in the original, don't actually scare Naruto, even though he really should be, because if Itachi was genuinely trying to capture him, he would. But luckily, due to the fact that Itachi was a double agent for the Leaf Village, this would mean that this battle would actually be elongated just long enough, and Naruto would use his speed just perfect enough to keep Kisame at bay, and Itachi would act as though he was actually being caught off guard by these attacks as well, which led to Naruto eventually holding both of them off barely, mind you, barely, because once Kisame actually got serious, Naruto nearly dies from one of Kisame's attacks, but Jiraiya ends up arriving, saving him, and just like in the original, Sasuke would arrive knowing that Itachi was here, as he would be told by Itachi that he's still weak, and he would be told that without the Mangekyo, there's not a thing he could do. Itachi's eyes would change, as in this moment, we would pretty much have Sasuke being taken down by the Tsukiyomi Jutsu, and Naruto, seeing Sasuke fall down to the ground, would realize that that guy possibly could have done that to him at any moment. Naruto was looking straight at his eyes, and to this point, Naruto still hadn't thought about something like that, like Genjutsu. He's so dumb. He literally could have been attacked by that and would have been GG's. So Naruto, now realizing that he has to look out for something like that as well, would start asking Jiraiya about that, asking, how do I deal with something like genjutsu, as they would continue their journey. And finally, Naruto would be told by Jiraiya that there really is only one way to deal with it, to break out of it. But he would then go on to pretty much explain that for Naruto, that might actually be a piece of cake due to the fact that he is a Jinchuriki. So if maybe one day he can manage to become a perfect Jinchuriki, he might be able to use the help of his tailed beast to break out, saying that Jinchurikis are actually less susceptible to genjutsu than any other person. As Naruto would say, that's good. And so, Naruto would go on to pretty much continue this journey in search of Tsunade, as Naruto would pretty much go on to finally, before they end up actually arriving to where Tsunade's at, ask Jiraiya about one specific technique he's been thinking about. Naruto would say that the first time that they faced off against Zabuza, he used the Mist Jutsu, which pretty much masked his presence and helped Zabuza attack in the shadows. Naruto would ask if there's another way that he could do something like that, and Jiraiya would say that there's a multitude of ways. He could use Mist Jutsu, but seeing as Naruto's nature isn't water, he'll probably have to use something else, something more like creating smoke. And Naruto, hearing this, would say, there's a way to do that? As Jiraiya would go on to say, come on kid, use your head. He would say use a wind jutsu and a fire jutsu, and use that to pretty much create a small like smoke to start pretty much like coming out. I don't know what Jiraiya would actually say. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, at this point I'm kind of just reaching, you know what I mean? But the point is, Jiraiya, in all of the jutsus that he knows, I definitely believe he would know how to create some sort of large smoke screen thing that could mask his presence. And so he would teach Naruto how to do just that, a technique that Naruto could use to pretty much take his opponents completely off guard. And this would be something that Naruto would find extremely useful, especially during the section when he fights against Kabuto, which we're going to be fast forwarding to now, because I'm not going to lie y'all, my family's at a party right now and I'm trying to get to that. This is like probably one of my least favorite sections to cover in the story, so I'm just going to kind of blitz through this. Naruto facing off against Kabuto after the whole stuff with Tsunade and Naruto when the bar would go down, would pretty much end up defeating him using this new jutsu to actually kill Kabuto in this timeline, cutting his head clean off before Kabuto could react. This leaves Naruto, Jiraiya, and Tsunade to face off against Orochimaru, and after they would pretty much cause him to have to get out of there with his tail between his legs, they return to the village, where because Naruto killed Kabuto, that's actually going to be having a huge like significance to the story going forward. But anyways, that being said, Naruto would return to the village alongside Tsunade, as she would end up healing Kakashi and Sasuke, who were both placed under the Tsukiyomi Jutsu. And the second that Sasuke would wake up, he would pretty much go on to leave with the Sound 4. Just like in the original, the mission to go in search of Sasuke would still play out like it does, as we would essentially get the entire rescue team being sent out. Choji would face off against Jirobo, Neji would face off against the spider dude, Kiba would face off against like that one dude who could split into two, and Shikamaru would face off against Tayuya, as we would then get Naruto getting closer and closer to Sasuke. But before he can finally reach him, we would have Kimimaro arriving, who with this bone quirk would actually pose a massive threat to Naruto. Naruto, wanting to blitz him and just get this over with instantly so he can make his way back to the village, would rush at him and try to kill him, but before his blade could make full contact with Kimimaru's neck, a bone would stick out, which would actually end up blocking Naruto's attack from slashing him fully. Naruto, jumping back, would begin to do a bunch of backflips, as Naruto would think to himself that he's a lot stronger than he thought. And Kimimaro would say that if it wasn't for his Kekkei Genkai, he would have died, asking Naruto what his name is, with Naruto revealing that his name is Naruto Uzumaki. After this little encounter would take place, Naruto would go on to say that he's the guy who's gonna kill him, as in this moment Kimimaro would say that he doubts it, but he can try, as they would both pretty much end up getting into a clash, and Naruto would close his eyes before opening them up once again, beginning to completely outspeed and outdo Kimimaro, who would be placed on the back foot and would be forced to use his ultimate jutsu, which would cause a bunch of bones to sprout up from the ground, leading Naruto to have to give Kimimaro space, who quickly taps into his version 2 of his curse marks power, which would leave Naruto completely dumbfounded, not even having expected something like this from him. But Naruto would actually end up taking things to another level yet again, and using his brand new after image technique in tandem with his new smokescreen ability, Naruto would land the final blow on Kimimaro, whose sickness would end up holding him back, leading Naruto to killing him, for once and for all, would rush towards the direction of Sasuke, as he would end up meeting him in the forest, as Sasuke would have been able to run a little more forward because Lee never ended up pretty much getting in the way. Naruto would stop Sasuke as he would say, "Sasuke, what are you doing? Why are you running from the village?" But Sasuke, turning back towards Naruto with one of his eyes looking different, would say, "There's nothing left for me there, Naruto. Nothing except defeating you." As from here, he would smirk and say, "You know, I'm actually kind of glad you followed me, because now I can finally get rid of this itch that's been bothering me. I've been wondering, who's stronger now, me or you?" As he would blitz towards the direction of Naruto, quickly dodges it and says, "You know, Sasuke, when I fight, it's to the death. So I'm gonna give you one chance to make it out of here alive, so choose wisely, Sasuke. Are you gonna die here today by my blade, or are you gonna come back to the village?" At this moment, Sasuke would smirk, as quickly he would activate his Sharingan, rushing Naruto, who speed blitzes Sasuke and proceeds to straight up decapitate this man, not playing any games. He was dead serious. Sasuke was gonna die or come back to the village, and he didn't have time to waste on this dude. So after decapitating Sasuke on the spot, he would just pretty much end up looking at Sasuke's body, which fell to the ground, as Naruto would say, "It's over." Suddenly, Naruto could feel a jolting pain in his chest. Sasuke had just stabbed the Chidori into him, with Naruto letting his guard down, not realizing that he was under genjutsu. And so, Naruto's body would fall down onto the ground as he would pretty much slowly begin dying. But Naruto's chakra would start to flare out as Naruto would seemingly lose himself to the power of the Nine Tails, and he would begin rampaging, leading Sasuke to quickly having to leave the area because there was nothing he could do against this Naruto who was out of his right mind, until finally Naruto would gas himself out, and after shooting off a couple of tailed beast bombs destroying the area, Kakashi would end up arriving to see Naruto there on the ground, who had seemingly let his guard down and losing to Sasuke, with Sasuke not actually beating him, but actually just running away because there was nothing else that he could do. Naruto would be returned to the village, where he would then go on his 3-year training journey with Jiraiya, where Naruto in this timeline would not only just learn the basic abilities that he would have learned in the original, such as a big ball Rasengan and 2 more Rasengans other than that, this version of Naruto, being a fast learner, you get what I did there, would end up actually learning how to tap into the powers of KCM-1, learning something that normal Naruto would have barely learned during the war arc, making him already the fastest character this entire series has ever seen. Oh, and I need to mention one more thing. Naruto would also learn Sage Mode, but in this timeline, Naruto wouldn't just learn, Toad Sage Mode, because when Naruto would pretty much be told by Jiraiya to form a contract with them, Naruto would be like, "Toad's in my style," and so he would end up summoning something which would actually turn out to be a snake, with Naruto learning Snake Sage Mode. This would instantly make Naruto one of the strongest characters in the verse, as Naruto would return to the village, and so would end up reporting all of the things that they would have actually done during their training journey, with one of the things actually being handling a multitude of Akatsuki members. Not only had Naruto and Jiraiya done the normal things that they do in the original, Naruto, once he found out about the Akatsuki members after Jiraiya just couldn't hold the secret anymore, would have actually been quite keen on trying to find out more about the Akatsuki, which would have ultimately led him to actually bumping into Hidan and Kakuzu, who are 2 members of the Akatsuki that Naruto would have actually been privy to and taken down. Other than that, that's all that Naruto would have done. But when Naruto returns to the village, Naruto would quickly be told by Tsunade that she's going to be having a seemingly bit of a bell test to test his abilities. But Jiraiya at this moment would turn to her and say that's really not needed. The kid has already long since surpassed me and you. Honestly, I can say with confidence he's already surpassed Minato as well. As Tsunade would say there's no way. But as this conversation would be taking place, a letter from the Sand Village would end up arriving, informing them of the Kazekage problem with their village. And so, Team 7 would make their way towards the land of the sand, right? Where once they would end up arriving, Sakura, just like in the original, would heal Kankuro, where Naruto would rush into the battle and face off against Deidara and Sasori, with him tapping into a Sage Mode the second Sakura would actually smash the rock. Naruto making a grand entrance would scan the area with his eyes using speed never before seen in the series. Dude was moving like Minato using the flying Raijin with actual speed, not using the Hokage's the Raikage's like lightning cloak, mind you. Scanning the area using his eyes to look everywhere, he would see that Deidara was actually on a clay bird and was planning to actually escape. But before he could even fly out of the door, Naruto would quickly slash off Deidara's head, as Deidara falling onto the ground would have his head just collapse as he dies, and the clay bird would explode. But Naruto, before that bird could even manage to explode, Naruto blitzes toward the direction of Sasori as he would cut Sasori into a million pieces, recognizing that the head that he first would cut off would actually just be a puppet. And so Naruto would destroy every single little piece of Sasori, leading to the Kakashi and Sakura realizing the levels of speed that Naruto could now possess. As from here, they would end up completing the mission successfully and returning to the village, where once this would take place, eventually Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki, would make his presence known. He would end up attacking the village just like in the original. I believe it's the same day that Sasuke faces off against Itachi, if not the day after, where once this happens, Naruto would quickly go on to defeat Pain, using his newfound speed to just blitz these paths of Pain, which even the Rinnegan couldn't even keep up with Naruto's levels of speed. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I have not done justice to this, how fast Naruto is. Mind you, do you guys remember the fact that this version of Naruto was capable of doing the stuff that he was before the time skip? This dude had 3 years of training with Jiraiya. 3 years where Naruto was able to improve his abilities so unbelievably much, where it was just, dude, it was inhuman. And he has access to Snake Sage Mode, something that makes someone like Mitsuki in Boruto one of the strongest characters in the verse. It's actually insane. Naruto has that level of power. This pretty much leads to Naruto destroying Nagato and ultimately making his way towards the actual real Pain, which, you know, is Nagato. I just said that, but once he would arrive, Naruto's not going to be there on some like, oh, you know, why'd you do it? Why? Like, none of that, bro. Naruto straight up would proceed to kill Konan, who gets in his way, and then looking towards Nagato would ask who the leader of the Akatsuki is, as Nagato would go on to pretty much tell him that he's not going to ever find out, as Naruto would say that when he comes for him, he'll kill him. As in this moment, Naruto would go on to kill Pain, and seeing that his eyes were, you know, seemingly this like really impossibly crazy powerful dojutsu, which Naruto heard stories about from Jiraiya, who this time would have actually told him about his student Nagato, would quickly take them and use them as his own eyes. Being another Uzumaki, Naruto would easily be able to handle this. And with this version of Naruto, who's this fast, who has the Rinnegan, who has all these abilities that I've already listed before, Naruto, when he's finally confronted by Obito, would walk this man, would destroy him. Like, there's no other thing that I could possibly say. Naruto would mollywop this man. It would be embarrassing how bad Naruto manages to destroy this guy, but he does. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm going to be wrapping up What If Naruto Was Speed O Sound Sonic. This one, instead of kind of like a movie, how I usually do my normal what ifs, was more of a one-shot kind of what if, because it was very fast, but on the parts that actually changed and all of the mini details, I did actually enjoy talking about them. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my next Naruto what if video should probably be part 3 to What If Naruto Had the Lord's Eyes, so stay tuned for that. There's probably going to be 4 or 5 parts to that video. I'm still not entirely sure about that, but just to let you guys know about one more video that I know you guys are just dying to get from me, What If Naruto Was Gojo? That's still going to be coming out just like I promised you guys a while ago, so don't worry about that. And yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you could do me the biggest favor in the world and leave a like and a comment on this video, that would genuinely mean the world to me. With that said though, pretty soon I'm going to be dropping a video pretty much titled How to Make What If Videos in 2025 or something like that, where I'm pretty much going to be teaching you guys all the tips and tricks that I learned over the course of like, what was it, like 4 years that I've been making these videos? Dude, I was 15 when I started. I think it's actually 5 years. So yeah, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make what if videos, because seriously, I'm so tired of these AI what ifs, bro. I want some new me to join the game, and I feel like it's time for me to, you know, help some of the young people actually learn how to make these videos themselves, to revive the what if community, seeing as we just recently lost a legend in Anime Sage. But yeah, with that being said though, ladies and gentlemen, I love each and every single one of you guys. It has been your boy Xehther, and I am out. Peace!